about you. Don't just stand there teasing me. Now it's time.
It's hard, for example, to decide what you want to do with your life. It's very difficult, especially for me because I overthink things. But when I eventually decide this is what I want to do, I sink myself into it. And there was a time I thought I had to do just one thing. You don't have to do everything, just do one and focus on it. But I realized that I can do as many as possible. And it doesn't matter if it finishes. Nothing ever finishes anyway. We are here 70, 80 years and we are gone. So I believe in doing as much as I can with as much strength as I can for as long as I can. And that's what drives me, poetry, digital marketing, and otherwise. So poetry started for me when I started reading as a child. But then writing it started when I realized there was a platform I could use. So thanks to my friend Aquila, I would go on radio and read poems. And that's when I realized I could do something with poetry. So I started writing and performing more then. For digital marketing, I had a friend also. And I think most of what I've done in life has come through people I know. So he had a platform that was helping students find scholarships. So I started doing the digital marketing for that. And so from there to other jobs, to other jobs. So I kept getting gigs, both in poetry and digital marketing. So to perform a poem well, you have to look at diction, you have to look at the story itself. It is easy sometimes to totally ignore diction, to ignore body movements, to ignore the sound of your voice, and just focus on the story, and you'll still do very well. But for me, I look up people I love how they perform on Google. Once I see a particular person, I watch the video over and over again. What I'm trying to do there is not copy, per se, but it's more a case of look at what works for the person and see how I can make what works for me work for me. For digital marketing, it was the same thing. I would search for great digital campaigns online. I would just Google search campaigns. I would look at these campaigns, the very best ones, and then use this to learn from and move from there.
And that was Chika Jones, a digital strategist and poet. And of course, I have him live in the studio. Welcome, Chika. How you doing?
Thank you very much.
Oh, lovely hair.
Thank you.
I'm very sure your parents are proud of the hair. Huh?
Let's not talk about it.
Because it's a full-blown story, right?
Yeah, it's an entire story on its own.
Fantastic.
Nigerian parents being what they are. Yeah, but my mom has not seen this hair, so I've had this hair for 2 months now. Whoa. So I've not seen her for 2 months. But my dad definitely doesn't like it. Definitely doesn't like it.
Okay, so you've performed at several arts festivals, and you're doing great for yourself. What really goes into the art of poetry?
Thank you for that question. So. For me, I would say right now, there are 2 types of poetry, kind of. And when I mean types, I mean mediums. So there is poetry for the page, and there is poetry for the stage. So poetry for the page is when you just write it and publish it as a book, but you're not a performer, you don't go on stage and perform. Now, there's also performance poetry for the stage. So that's where people that call themselves spoken word artists come in.
Oh.
I try to avoid the word spoken word artist to describe myself because it's been bastardized. So I call myself a performance poet. But I do both of them, actually.
It's been bastardized how?
So there's a very low barrier to entry. Spoken word is speaking words. Literally what I'm doing right now, talking, is spoken word.
Okay.
So anybody can put together a couple of lines, put a few commas, come on stage and say I'm a spoken word artist. And sometimes you listen to this and you know that the work has not gone into it. And what I mean by the work has not gone into it, it's not proper writing.
Oh.
So if you take the art very seriously, like I hope I do, you go through the process of writing properly first. So let it work on page, maybe first.
Yeah.
And then when you come on stage, what you're adding is performance, body movement, voice, diction, the way you pass it across. So it's easier that way because you get instant feedback from the crowd. Whether they like it or not, they clap, you get, or something goes in, or they snap their fingers.
I thought they snap.
Yeah, or they snap their fingers.
Because they don't clap.
Yeah, you get. But for when you write on page, you can send it out. Whenever it gets published, maybe you get a DM from somebody saying, I really liked your book or something. So there are two aspects to it. And what I try to do is I try to walk through the entire aspect. I don't just do it as if I'm just going on stage just to do it and let people see the words and the punchlines and clap. I make sure there is proper work into it. There is story for me, because story is important. There is kindness in it. There is truth in it. So I think those elements all come together into a proper poem, so that even if it's on page, somebody enjoys it. And then if it's on stage, better.
Amazing,
Yeah.
amazing. So how does one go from being a poet to digital strategy? Those are very, I don't want to use the word opposites.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Genres.
But at the very basis, for both of them, is storytelling.
Okay.
So the first marketers were the people that will go from door to door, knock and tell you they want to sell you soap. And they tell you a wonderful story to make you buy the soap. So what they are doing right there is spoken word. What they are doing right there is selling something to you. Eventually, when we moved marketing from traditional door to radio to print, newspapers, and now to TV, obviously, and then finally online because the internet happened, you're still doing the same thing. You're selling either way. So I wouldn't say I moved from poetry into digital marketing. I did both at the same time. So from the university days, I would do digital marketing, but then I would also write and perform. So I did both side by side, and somehow I've managed to keep juggling them. It's difficult, but I get gigs to perform. I take time off to do that. I do my own shows. So it's hectic, but I'm doing both at the same time.
That is the real definition of hustle. You know, that is the real hustle.
True, actually. True.
So how has the Google app helped you to fuel this, your hustle?
Yeah, I feel like it's been indispensable. And regardless of what you do, it's practically indispensable. It's like, apart from sliced bread, I think it's one of the best things that's ever happened to human beings. Yeah.
Okay, you're putting sliced bread first.
Yeah, definitely. Sliced bread is better.
Okay.
But Google, jokes apart, has been indispensable. It's insane what you can learn on it. So let me say poetry first. When I first started writing, I would write and then I would try to perform. So I went on radio for the first time, I think 2013, Rhythm FM. Sorry for mentioning names. But yeah, I went there and I read a poem out and people liked it, but I could still tell there was something missing.
Yeah.
So I went on Google and searched.
You went on Google app?
Google, yeah, Google app and searched,
Yeah.
And how do people perform poetry? So I would see videos, and so I would spend hours watching these videos, trying to see how they did it.
On the Google app.
On the Google app. And eventually, I built my own voice from there. Same thing for digital marketing. Go on the Google app. I'm looking for a wonderful campaign. So a client has come to me and say, we need to sell this. I look for similar campaigns on the Google app. When I see ones, I see, can I tweak this? Can I sell this to them? Can this work in the Nigerian context, for example? So it's indispensable. There's literally nothing you're doing that you don't have to search on the Google app to get. So videos. Recently, I'm thinking of going into coding and programming, and all I do is go on the Google app, search coding classes, get them, take them. So over and over again, it's been indispensable to the journey, I think.
Amazing, amazing. Yeah. And if there's someone out there, which of course there are millions of people watching you right now,
yeah.
What would the advice be? How would they fuel their hustle?
The advice would be, first of all, know what you want to do. It's important. We are hustlers as Nigerians, so there is a temptation to do everything. I'm fine if you feel like you have the energy, do everything. But it's important you know what you want to do. And then once you know what you want to do, you know you have a resource, a free resource that you don't have to pay for, which is the Google app. Go on it, search ways to improve that thing you want to do. Learn from it. Take it step by step also. It's important we go back to the fundamentals as Nigerians. Don't be in a rush and learn from it. That's what I think happens.
Thank you so very much, Chika.
Thank you too.
Chika Jones.
Yeah,
thank you for coming on the show. And of course, if you're out there, no matter what you want to do, remember, Google can help you fuel your hustle. My name is Hero Daniels, and it's been a wonderful show. Till I catch you next time, have a wonderful day.